Es un hombre extraordinario.
Me impresiona mucho.
Pues ¿sabes qué? Yo creo que no es tanto el físico, es más bien la personalidad que tiene y todo lo que proyecta.
Ya me lo imagino con su smoking blanco, un martini en una mano y un costoso habano en la otra.
Provocativo. Atractivo.
A new stereophonic sound spectacular.
Hello there, and welcome to the exciting world of HIP. This is a new departure in language instruction for English-speaking people who want to talk to and be understood by jazz musicians, hipsters, beatniks, juvenile delinquents, and the criminal fringe.
Bonjour madame, bonjour monsieur. Nous allons, grâce à ce disque créé spécialement pour vous, essayer de tirer ensemble le maximum de qualité sonore de votre chaîne haute fidélité.
Sit back, relax, and close your eyes.
Hey, how are you beautiful people? The sun is playing with me. I was traveling so much for new prospection, clients, and everything. And yes, I got a kind of a cold from the cabin. Sorry about that. So sorry about this kind of noise sound voice. I'll do my best. Today I was not supposed to be live. Happy Thanksgiving to all of my American fellow friends and colleagues that I love so much. I would have stayed, to tell you the truth, till the weekend if I had made some other arrangement. But I'm going to celebrate tonight another celebration. It's called La Sainte Catherine or Sainte Catherine. So it's really a French-Canadian thing. And I will even say it's a really Montrealer from Montreal type of French-Canadian tradition celebrating, how could I translate that? It's all about the woman who past 25 years old are still single, and this is dated from the colony. So it's so that's why we call it the Saint Catherine. Saint Catherine was probably the Catholic patron, grandmother, godmother of those poor women in the colony, still not married after 25 years old. So on November 25th, it's that day, and tonight I'm going, yes, because I'm not a lady, but I am that situation, that still single, not engaged, not anything. I'm a free bird. I'm an electron libre, but I'm going tonight to celebrate with a great friend of mine and maybe some other woman. I'll be the only male with a great French cuisine table at the edge of the island of Montreal. I can't wait for that moment. As I was so delighted by this Boston getaway. A lot of thanks about. I invited people. We'll see if they joined later, maybe in the last segment, in the last hours. And this is also for my jogger out there of the DARE Real Agile Podcast. You run with me. You do your treadmill with me. You do even your CrossFit. I got a couple fellow CrossFitter that do CrossFit by listening to my audacity, divergent way of presenting business, agility, Scrum, empirism, and substantion. And so I'm so glad and happy to be with you on this Friday, November the 24th, where it's live streaming right now on Rumble and YouTube especially. I'm still doing it on LinkedIn, linked out. And that was one of the little takeaway from this trip in Boston area this past weekend and week was I met people both professionally and for like a prospect or ex-client and everything, that they are getting away more of social media, because when we were exchanging either a business card or nowadays you tap your phone and then you exchange your V card and stuff like that. I don't have any more business card. I don't have it with me now. But anyways, so it's just like, it's a permanent type of thing that you could use an NPC on phones, or you could scan the QR code. So that's it. But there's also a lot of people who just want to exchange LinkedIn, and which I never do, because I've got my beautiful Vistaprint from Boston, by the way, card here to do so. But I was amazed, like some people said, don't want to get LinkedIn. I'm linked out. Oh, I said, okay. So that's great. I'm not the only one talking about it. So there's the linked out, there's the face out. People seems to have, the people I met back 2-3 years ago in Tulum, these young software developer having these Nokia dumb phone. They don't want to have emails or internet on their phone. They just want to have SMS, or it looks more like the old pager messaging, and get the phone. That's it. So there's the rise of the dumb phone and the rise of those. And by the way, those who I met who didn't want to LinkedIn were in about the range of, the same age of these using the dumb phone, which is an average of 25 years old. So you see, like Ecclesiastes will say, it's nothing new under the sun. And definitely this weekend, not only I will fest with friends, but I will also rise the Christmas tree in my other lounge. And here, definitely, it's time to move the table, not in front of the window anymore of this penthouse, but on the other side, because you could see a killer, even for meetings, etc. And by the way, my shade is pulled down. So the sun is powerful, my dear friend. The sun is very powerful. Without the sun, nothing happens. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. And especially at the Northern Hemisphere, when it's going down south, and I'm positioned into southwest, I think, my house. So that's why now at this time, it's right in my eyes with the shade. Even with the shade. Isn't it amazing? And it's a beautiful day. I hope it's a beautiful day for you too, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. And for those who are listening, this transmission on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, Apple Podcasts, and 37 other. I hope you enjoy your run. I love you so much. Thank you for all your messages. After Christmas, I will take time to start responding to you in this. It's a monthly podcast, the DARE REAL AGILE, at the last Friday of the month. This one was going to be downloaded right after I'm finishing here. And what else could I say? That I love you. I'm thankful. And I'm happy with the Bitcoins. I'm happy with projects. Because I was kind of sick this morning, I canceled something that I wanted to do with the Tadros brother here for the new upcoming Bitcoin city we're going to build in Quebec with an ambassade from Salvador. That's a dream come true. And we have our first apparatus of Bitcoin inside. And to conclude with the news, next Thursday, Scrum Beer Montreal, a fuck-up Scrum with Bob Yu, a great Scrum Master at Bell. Or maybe I say too much, but he'll be sharing the difficulty with or without the Tuckman cycle of storming in a team between the product owner and the Scrum Master, and what kind of solution and communication and creative communication he had put in place to how could I say that, solve it and have a better space and a better communication. So I can't wait to have this fuck-up Scrum that will be an on-fuck-up. So it's a 2-for-1. We're going to celebrate the 5th anniversary of this user group that I want to move in 2024 outside of Scrum Alliance for, yes, political reason in our sphere. So help me, Scrum Inc. maybe, or Scrum Org. I saw that they're not as well organized and kind of sponsorship as the unfortunate Scrum Alliance is, but for value reason, and especially with all that's coming. By the way, I see a lot of people today. It's a day off in the United States, so it's about 27 people according to my dashboard. So say hi in the chat. There's also, if you watch on YouTube, if you're not on YouTube, I put a survey to test your knowledge. Scrum is based on what? And there's answer that you could do on the live chat. Is there for the live chat only? So yes, the chat is open right now. I want it to be interactive today. And for those who catch it again on the audio file, it's a question of love. It's a question of thing. It's a question of really Depeche Mode. You want me in a karaoke just to laugh, especially if I'm sick like this. Anyways, I'm an happy camper this Friday, November the 24th, for the 58th episode of the DARE REAL AGILE Podcast. I'm your host and amazing facilitator, Alexandre Frédéric Joly, known as your Coach AF. And we're going to dig into my takeaways, my first takeaways. I was really paying attention to what happened, so it's a first draft. And by the way, after Bob at the Scrum Beer, we're gonna do also a takeaway of two things. The Agile Boston Give Thanks for Scrum, because Joey that came with me, he's from Montreal, and Frank Scala, we will be able to do this, and a fishbowl. Yeah, we're do this like that. And anyone, because next week is the Agile Tour Montreal, mostly in French. It's a 2 days conference on everything Agile, sort of. It's probably the biggest event in the French sphere for Agile, even beside France and Paris, Lyon. It's about 1,300 people gathering together and having a nice time talking about Agile. And I know some of my mentee, and I salute her. I thank her. I'm thankful to have her in my professional life now this year, helping me with a Scrum Beer. Chun, I salute you. And she will be, so if you are participating at the Agile Tour Montreal, this 28 and 29, and I believe this is Tuesday, I should have it on screen, sorry about that, but they will do with Sébastien Tardivo, Bob Yu, the guy who will be courageous enough to fuck up and unfuck up Scrum this next Thursday. They'll be there to welcome you around the lunchtime to do a mentor Agile. So it's very great. It's very great. And there's also a great dear colleague of mine that I wish I could see more often, Laurence, will be there with them, I think. I'm doing it by heart because I don't have it on my screen. It's unscripted. So if you are listening this, Sébastien, Bob, or Chun, please correct me in the chat or in the comment. Especially for the weekend, if I did something wrong or linked it to your post. What I would like to show you right now, and sorry for the audio podcaster, you won't see it, but just imagine that I'm just screening the main user group that I'm talking about. We are limited to 30 places, but with all these Christmas office party that will come soon, the manager of the brewery, Le Ciboire, told me that she'll be able to hold the little space for 30 people as long as she doesn't have a request that fill that space. So at about a week from the event, we are, let's see it, 17 on Meetup, and I know people bought Scrum Value. So what is a Scrum Value? These the value, this is in French, maybe in English is better. So openness, it's $10, and you will be in a draw. The focus is $20. You get your first spin, 16 ounces, already paid. And the rest goes into the volunteer of this event. Commitment, $30, you get 2 pins. Respect, $40, 2 pins, and no fees for anything else on Eventbrite. And also, you become a VIP member of the Scrum Beer. Courage, the same thing, but it's 3 pins. And I know someone who purchased actually 3 Courage for 3 people, so they're gonna be drunk by the time of the fishbowl. But this is the Scrum Value tickets. It's just for you to, you get more involved and you pay and it's a commitment, because if you pay your 3 pins and you don't come, of course it's no refundable. So you have to respect your Scrum Beer Gold and join us. All right. So right now, those who purchase, it's 10. So we are 27 listed out of 30. So I could say there's only 3 spaces left. However, for those of you like me who work in the event industry and the things, you always know that those who are subscribed, you divide it by about 2. So if I'm 27, it's about 13, 14 people. So for the manager at the brewery, she knows that too. She's in the event and hotels and stuff. So she says, like, if I cannot go up more to guarantee at least 22 people like last time. Last time we were 43 registered, 22 showed up for a space where we breed of 30 people. So if you want this more private, nice space, please tell your friend if you're from Montreal. And so Scrum Master, bring your PO, bring your client. But let's make it happen because we're going to do a last double check by Wednesday. And if Wednesday I cannot guarantee the 30, I might lose the room, unfortunately. So we'll be more noisy, especially if I want to do a sharing circle. It's not exactly the same. So that's it. Okay, that's it now for all the blah blah. I think it's enough. Let's go into this subject of today. So at 15:50, I'm gonna put the timer here for the after live. 15:30, let's say. Okay. So and probably we'll edit a couple of parts. Do I do this? Elizabeth, tell me. Do I do it? No, we don't. We just it's authentic. We do it like this. Perfect. And yeah. Great pumpkin coffee made by me, by the way. It's a homemade pumpkin coffee. My goodness. Okay, so let's do this. I would like to show you first. Did I prepare the photo? No. So, anyways, it's gonna be more like radiophonic today, and I hope some of my colleagues will join me. That will be nice to do a virtual fishbowl of our takeaway. But my takeaway for me, and let's do at least this. For the viewers, let's put at least the agenda so you'll be able to follow a little bit more. The gift thanks for Scrum at 15th anniversary, 15 years that Daniel Mezick organized it. Well, by the way, kudos to Daniel Mezick, Anne Brea, and Joseph, the Angelis, to organize that. These are the leaders of Agile Boston, and I will have to say leaders who serve. It was very well organized, very clear, very nice and everything. And also kudos to Carl Franklin that I won a CD, my friend. I'll be able to listen to you with my CD, and I could play everything here in the Fredo Lounge. Not the Agile Lounge, but at the Fredo Lounge I have turntable to play vinyl. I get even a tape deck of old 1982 refurbished by my mom, her boyfriend, and myself. So it's still playing tape cassette, TDK SA 90 minutes. Yes, I do. And I got also a DVD, a VHS player, a beta player. I could play everything, and I got everything also to digitalize it. Just saying, if you need help for that, me and my DJ, we could do this. So Carl Franklin, very nice musician. He played for us at the lunchtime. That was amazing. And he even do for those of you want a Scrum beer karaoke, I think one of his songs, he changed a word into Scrum, and that was just funny. So that's what we talked about when some of our user group member here at the Scrum Beer proposed to do a karaoke. It's any non-sound, but we put some kind of agile, Scrum, lean vocabulary into songs. Like stand up for your Scrum. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so anyway, that was great. And yes, they are promising a great event this year. And I think it was my 4th time participating in it. And first time in person. So I really liked it. So you had as a speaker Yuval Yeret, Tony Wallace, Dr. Jeff Sutherland, that is there every year, by the way. And by the way, I'm amazed. I would like to be like him at 82 years old. So I don't know what he's taking, but I should start working on it right now at the eve of my 6th decade that I'm going to start next year in 2024. That will be yes, I'm a 1974. So I'd like to stay in shape. I think I'm in shape, but too much in shape, if you see what I mean. So, I'd like to do some prevention. And one of the takeaway here is not twice the work and half the time. It was twice the energy and half the stress. and he has it on his Fitbit. So I didn't catch it. So tell me in the comment below if he says that he and his team built this app on Fitbit to calculate the level of stress and the level of energy and blah blah, or it's just something that he adopted, like he adopted the Tesla founding phone. But anyways, that was a nice takeaway because during the week, even at the pre-dinner, the eve of the Scrum beer, I mentioned something to someone about it's like exactly for the exercise, like past 40 years old, you have to twice exercise, so twice the exercise, and half the food, half the portion. So you eat less, you eat 2 times less, and you exercise 2 times less. So it's funny to play about this book of Dr. Sutherland, and he said it himself about twice the energy and half the stress. Dan Lefebvre, that was so great to meet him again, and this navigating the agile coaching maze, elevating Scrum Masters. So I will wish that my mentees, I can't wait for the deck of Lefebvre to give some practical and tactical takeaways to the Scrum Master that I coach and mentor, because it's a bliss. So thank you so much, Dan Lefebvre, for this. Daniel Mezick, of course, executive, like either you take a path of a joyful moment for your career as a consultant, or you destroy everything and you lose it. So empirism and experiment with executive within a 4-week things. And I'm doing something here for a client in New York, inspired by that. We're going to talk about this. Doug Kirkpatrick, great story about a creative management, self-management with a company Morningstar that he was involved in. So solving a lot of things. They say only solving coordination problem, but his story was far beyond that. That was the true essence of circular management. Substantion, even though I saw a couple, I don't know, Sue, if you agree, but I saw a couple of substantion element of architecture and hierarchy into his presentation and talk. A lot of people might say like, oh, you didn't have any slides, anything, but that's the thing, guys. I think for me, he was probably the speaker who inspired me the most in this renaissance I would like to propose beyond the world of business, for responsible citizenship, for responsible and thriving civilization. So that's the renaissance. For me, it's not just renaissance about this agile movement that is decaying, or the Scrum empirical that's going well and better and more open, I believe, with the people like Doug, Dave West. Dave West was very funny, as always, I think. And I like the one product at a time, exactly. We saw, statistically speaking, that a lot of people use Scrum, and Scrum fail often because Scrum was made for complex product development, and it's used in so many type of projects with a beginning and the end. So, of course, you could have it when you develop something, but after, when the maintenance kicked in, like at La Presse here in Montreal with Nuglyph, they use Scrum to develop this I'm sorry, I'm sick today, so I speak probably like I have difficulty to articulate. Digitalization of the newspaper. So that was great. That was complex with new kind of program development and stuff. But now when you maintain it, do you continue with Scrum? Or you go back to a more kind of classic project management? Or maybe you embrace a DevOps way of doing it with new feature on one leg, maintenance on the other leg, but it's continuous development within the DevOps powerful cross-functional teams. So I don't know. It was not there necessarily. And I have to apologize again. I did it in person to her, the SVP at Fidelity Investments, Tiffany Glodden. Is it Glodden? Okay, I thought it was Golden. I hope they didn't make... okay, maybe. I will have to check. I'm confused. But anyways, I apologize to her because I needed time. It was so much intense. It was great, but I needed time before my Enterprise Scrum sisters left with her. So after the break, I didn't came in back. I hope I will. But so I'm sorry about that. So that's not necessarily a just takeaway. But my friend on Thursday, or in the comment right now, who participated in it, could cover for me. Apparently it was a nice talk, talking about the EPO, and everything. So that was the program, an amazing program. So now, if I go back to my screen here, and is there a guest now? No, there's a chat though. There's a chat. Sorry about that. I was not my eyes on it. Thank you, Mr. Lefebvre. And I to you. I hope you enjoy your turkey and your festivals today. Garmin Watch, it had it already. Oh, wow, amazing. Okay, because that's the part I missed. I thought it was an app developed by you guys or some people around. So thank you for the correction, Garmin Watch. And yes, I really enjoy your talk. I can't wait for the deck because there's a lot of things in your talk, Dan, that I'm sure I will be able to help my mentee and my coachee. I loved it. I loved it so much. And by the way, I took some notes here. And as you are here, let me see here. Dan Lefebvre, elevating the Scrum Master, achieving success. That was definitely something that, especially here in Quebec, as I mentioned probably to you in private and some others, the Scrum Master are not seen enough as much as powerful as Scrum. And when I say powerful here, I'm talking instead in terms of their role of mastering Scrum and helping team do empirism. So that's the thing. So that's why I think it's going to be a lighthouse when I'll have your deck and with your permission, using it as it is to build some napron with your name and Scrum Inc. on it or whatever you do it from, to give away to my my young Padawan Scrum Master Rising. This is for me, this is like a takeaway. It's often something that gives you a aha moment. And I will say that in your talk, it was a practical aha moment of something that I will be able to use to help others. As a rising star, as a Scrum Master, as a master of Scrum, as a leader who serve, and not being catch in a maze of some leadership that just saw them as Jira not takers. That's the worst thing that when I see this. So and probably and maybe, as I was talking with Daniel Mezick, Dan, we might start. We have a special project for 2024 with the Open Leadership Network to show real Scrum, real empirism, real substantion, real everything. And I do believe that these podcasts on responsible civilization will include a responsible business with business agility and conscious leadership that should be put in place as you inspire in your talk to get out of this confusion and have a real clarity and real patterns to help and serve their teams and the organization as well. So thank you so much, Dan, for that. I'm really thankful. And when I say Dan here, I'm talking about Mr. Dan Lefebvre because there's also Dan Mezick. Yuval Yeret, I was the first speaker. It's always like, when you're the first in the morning and you're the first after lunch, that's kind of because I've been there myself, so I was in their shoe, and I did run to make sure because OKR, I'm a sucker of OKRs. It's been about since 2018 in London with one of my clients. I even built three Scrum team that we do Scrum with OKRs and DevOps. So it was Scrum with OKRs and DevOps. So the all the business and refinement of the backlog were within the objective key result and a more product management type of thing, and to an outcome base. So this is where I started to refine my idea and vision of an outcome-based delivery mode within the Scrum system, of course, and using the empirism. So kudos to Yuval Yeret. I think he explained it well, where from my journey that I started in 2018 at a bank in London all the way down to today's 5 years later. The way he put it, I really loved it because it was a kind of a great retrospective for myself, and I wish I could have some of my teams of back in the day to be with us there. So that was the thing from the first talk. So it was a great good morning with you did I pronounce it? Yeah, Yuval Yeret. So the rise of OKRs and product management. And this is like largely that day. I know the conference was called about it, because I forget, it's not. Let's go back home. It was Give Thanks for Scrum 2023, Empiricism and the Modern World. Yes, okay, so that's it. So, and when you talked about empiricism, I'm cold at empiricism and the modern world. So, I didn't have any expectation. My biggest expectation to being there was meeting meaningful and high potential people such as yourself, Dan Lefebvre, meeting back again my Enterprise Scrum family that was there with Suryu, Daniel Mezick, for the first time in the flesh after about 10 years, seeing each other virtually or through Beatles and everything. So that was great. So my big expectations were more about the interaction and the human agency. And I nailed it totally. Whether it was my weekend in Boston with ex-client that I met again and have food and funny, and I'll come back at the end about that because I have to be funny. I have to let you know how much one of my clients bring me somewhere, and the gay village of Boston. That was just amazing. But anyways, so that was like thing. And then after empiricism, I'm a dropout of astrophysics. I did my bachelor in physics. I did physics. I'm a scientist, I think, even if I don't have the PhD. Because yes, you're a dropout if you just do the master. So that's what I did. But of course, empiricism and substantion, for me, it's a natural thing. And I do believe Scrum is based on these. Like Mike Beatles said in Berlin in 2017 at a conference. I think it was a Scrum Day, Berlin or Germany, something like this. He said, if you don't know substantion, you don't know Scrum. Period. So, and I want to explain today substantion. I think people who are watching or listening for a couple of times, they know that. And you could go back to my other podcast where I explain it. Or explain part of it, because there's so much to discover about it. Because substantion, it's used mostly in artness science, and also in ethnology, if it's the same in English. You know, the ethnologue who study civilization, language, ancient language. So they need substantion to understand the construct of a phrase. Can you imagine that? Or the grammar of these ancient language. So I saw... because I have another life where I'm an assistant guide for ancient civilization, and I met with professor. In French, we said ethnologue, so I'm guessing because it's Latin, it's the same in English. So correct me again in the comment below if I made a mistake, because I don't want to search anything. I want to be with you. So yeah, so my takeaway, like the holistic takeaway of that great day from Dan Lefebvre. The confusing coaching maze to help elevate the Scrum Master, to Daniel Mezick executive experiment that I love because that's why I'm doing it, and the physics, yes, of Dr. Sutherland and Dave West from project to product. Once again, like we have to remind us about it, and the complexity, the Stacy complexity diagram. So I will say that I could resume like 3 words. Human interaction and agency. The second one is empirism. It's, are you ready to take risk and experiment things to uncover these new ways and to be innovative without necessarily have... And that linked to my weekend in Boston and Brooklyn when I met people who taught me about Freedom Inc. of Isaac Gates, and helping corporate rebels to do empirism in their white space. Yes. So for me, it's LinkedIn. It's all LinkedIn. And the third thing I would say is this warning that I felt from Dr. Sutherland. So I don't know you guys who's watching right now if you agree with me. And I still don't see Harold and Sue coming up in the guest room, be live with me. So you're more than welcome. If you listen to this, I send you the link to come in the studio to your direct email. If you'd like to do a virtual fishbowl, that would be nice. Or maybe I could have done Lefebvre if you're still on. I don't know, because I see 29 across the board, but I guess it's the Rumble channel where I have more people. Yes, as usual. That's funny because I have only 28 subscribers on Rumble. Always most watch time during the live and then even after. And on YouTube, I've got up to 800 subscribers and 2-3 now. Anyways, so yeah, the warning, I believe that's how I felt it. That's how I receive it. From my perspective, from the talk of Dr. Sutherland, and then thereafter, even with the Q&A, that there's a warning for us as Agilistas, consultant. Will we have to going back to code, as he mentioned? Will some tools like ChatGPT, or even Grammarly, by the way, will evolve at the point that organization won't need us anymore? Will a coach of anything in Agile and Lean will become obsolete? Even our fellow organization change, agent and manager will also become obsolete. I don't know. So for me, how will the Give Thanks for Scrum 2040 will look like? Holographic people plugged into vision augmented reality? Or we will stay in the need of this human agency? So, and for me, I don't see it as a conflict. I see it in my project of 4 Renaissance, by the way. So just a question here, and for those who are here, please feel free to chat while we're live on the 24th of November, or to put it in the comment after that day. So, yeah, the law of physics, which empirism is part of, and the race to automate it. That's how I resume part of the Dr. Sutherland talked. And before going into the still thumbs up, I'll get a thumbs down to say, yes, you know me, I'm authentic, I'm bold and respectful. So there was that amazing woman. At first, I liked it. Her first segment, that was Tonya Wallace. Or the Agile dance of... that was great. But I realized, like in the second part, she said she's a DISC certified. So am I. And I'm a dominant motivator. And that's not a shame to be in the D of the DISC. Because DISC is D, dominance or dominant. I, influencer. S, servant. And C, collaborative. But the way I've been taught and introduced and certified into the DISC system, and the DISC system is more than a psychometric test. It's more than a personality diagram. It's about identifying a trend, and as the leader who serve, and which team should you be able to connect more. It's kind of a predictive index type of thing. So if people answer that they like more direction, they like to be motivated, they might be better with a leader who serve that is in a D. Okay? Which we say dominant, but it's more to it. It should change by drive. Some people who has drives, who was a motivator and stuff. But finally, she didn't do that. She didn't explain the contingency of all of these 4 letters of the DISC something. And she went to point out people, because people from the room were giving, like, unfortunately, the dark side and toxic part of it. So I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I was a bit disappointed as a fellow DISC, because she was very dynamic, she was nice, but she slid into the serpent walk, and it was too much pointing finger to my taste, so I left. And I grabbed myself a coffee, and I talked with Dave West and others at their stand. And I came back after, right in time for Dr. Sutherland talks. But anyways, it could have been a lot more constructive, I think, the Tonya Wallace talk about this behavioral interaction element that we could do. Anyways, and prove them wrong or die trying. That's what I retain. This is my takeaway from Daniel Mezick. Experiment with executive, which is like something that I do right now with a client in New York. Before winning the final contract of training all of these leader, manager, and then teams within business agility and agile marketing and stuff, he told me that I got a month to experiment on a couple of his fellow board member on doing this. So I'm going to do that next month, and we'll see. So that's really important, because I think to be empirical, it's to experiment. And to have transparency, quick adaptation, and from the inspect, have a corrective action, and then not necessarily do it again, but do it better and maintain a sustainability. So from Jeff and Daniel, this is what I cut. And it's really important that it could be a disaster, but we have to take risk. And I forget my quote. I have a beautiful quote about risk from Jacques Brel, the Belgian singer, because he says something like this. So I don't have the exact quote. I don't want to search. I want to be with you. So the less screen I do, especially when I'm a little sick today, the better it is. So I rephrase it, but it's the intent of Jacques Brel telling us, inviting us to take risk. He says, what will be life without adventure? You have to hurt yourself. You have to shock yourself. You have to be in an uncomfortable place to finally relax in a chill, loungy place. It's hard sometimes to do a 25K cycling run, even if you're tired, but you'll be so happy after that you took that risk to go run and to do something that hurt, but then after you feel good. And it's the same thing when I do weightlifting. When I feel the burn on my shoulder, my tricep, my stomach, I love it. It hurt, but it feels good at the same time. And this is life. It's not just the memento mori or carpe diem. You know, the connection that you do with the universe, the connection that you do with even your three bodies, your physical bodies, your mental body, and yes, your consciousness. What is consciousness? It's the ability to stop the war between your reason and your intuition. So, I do believe that empirism, it's the key to all that. It's the law of physics that are part of the law of the cosmos or the universe. It's all around us. It's within us. Information going in and information going out. Then you apply it into business development, product development more than project. Because a project, it's kind of the linear historical path. But maybe you don't tell the story right. And one takeaway also was these Gantt charts that are really poor. I think it was also from you, Dan Lefebvre, where you talk about the burned down chart. Could be better, but again, so, and they were like in all these talks, almost, there were this constant of how do we measure the outcomes, not the output, but the outcomes. Like with Yuval, that was really clear that in OKRs, the famous key result should be an outcome, not only activities, because the objectives should inform and activate a key result that will help the team build an outcome. And this is what we measure. By the way, I'm predicting that for those who truly embrace the new management, the radical management, the creative management, with conscious leadership within the business agility, the true business agility of liberating structure, to put the people first, solving problem with their thinking, with their power brain. So these are part of my takeaway. I was really happy to connect. To be right or wrong is not the question. To embrace and be in tune with everyone is not the question. I disagree with a lot of things some people say that day, and especially with other private conversation. I disagree with the fact that some people won't say something. But generally speaking, I'm really thankful for that day. I'm really thankful for the disagreement that make me think otherwise, and I hope on their side of the table they will have also a rethinking things. So mostly that's it. Let me go back to my studio now. Nobody else. The time is now if you'd like to express yourself in the chat, as it's live transmission here on Friday the 24th of November. And thereafter, in the comment, or the beautiful emails that I got from my audio podcaster that I love, and I'm really thankful because you made me rise up to 5,000, almost 6,000 listener now, and even subscriber, sort of, because they seems to defy, like, listener, it's an amount, they not necessarily subscribe, but anyways. And so I would like to conclude this beautiful give thanks to Scrum takeaway. And as I said, I will probably refine my takeaway because I'm a visual. So as soon as Agile Boston is giving us, the participant, the PDF, I'll be able to go back to from my notes all the way there and to have, and maybe I'll do it this Thursday with friends and a fishbowl at the Scrum beer. So I might have even better say on Dan Lefebvre talk, Tony Wallace talk, Yuval Yeret talk. So thank you to you guys. Thank you to Jeff Sutherland, Dan Mezick, Joseph DeAngelis. And now I would like to give my thanks for my entire East Coast trip of this month of November. And especially for my Boston getaway, my Brookline getaway. The reunion with my Vistaprint Scrum team of 2009. That was very nice. I love you guys and girls. Very cool, the evolution you made. And you all made it into product development somewhere else. Some of you are not even anymore at Vistaprint. And my walk from Brookline, my 5K walk on Beacon Street on a beautiful Sunday after an amazing brunch where I ate the most amazing waffle ever. So thank you again. You know who you are. I don't want to put some names to respect the privacy. But if you're listening to this, not only you're part of the Renaissance, but you know with what I say who you are. And my thanks goes to you and your amazing wife. Well received. So homemade waffle. They were delicious. Even the doggy bag that I took it after. So my walk from Brookline to the Boston Common, where I stopped and meditate at the Martin Luther King Love Monument. That was a bliss for me because it was 7 years I didn't put foot in Boston, a city that I love. That was at the beginning of my Scrum journey, and this is the birthplace of Scrum. But that moment when I saw the sculpture that a lot of our, don't want to give name to them, but whatever, they say it was shit, and the picture they used to describe it could make anybody say, oh, this is right. So again, when we say empirism and experimentation, perspective, At first I realized, and I would like to apologize, that I was tending to agree with this culture war, that this culture was intentionally in this whatever liberal or libtard city had made a very poor monument to the great Dr. Martin Luther King. That is why is one of my favorite influencer in my sociological life and more and beyond. But when you're there at Boston Common, in front of this monument, there's no right or left. There's only love. Love for your fellow citizen. And let me tell you one thing. If the arc of Dr. Jordan Peterson will really embrace a responsible citizenship, it have to stop this right and left stupidity. We have to be all together and the head of the eagle or the condor for the people of the South. Don't be on a wing, because with one wing you don't fly that far. So that was a great moment for me, a blissful moment for me, to be in front of this beautiful sculpture. It's a hug. It's a hug of love. It's a call for renaissance and being the light and caring for each other. Especially when you read on the wall and there's a picture of me on LinkedIn. Dare to read it out loud. Dare to do what you read to someone else next to you with love. It's about time we could talk about peace and love without saying by others like EPs and bullshitter, because we are the true. Is no justice is being just. Thank you, Dr. Martin Luther King, for that moment. And now, another takeaway, and forget the book. I received the book while I was coming back in Montreal. I'm a man of action. The value of Scrum, I used them before Schreiber and Sutherland put them out. If you ask me something, am I commit to it? I do it. At any level. That was a great brunch, great conversation, great enlightenment. We exchanged about things. He talked to me about Isaac Ray's book, Freedom Inc., and Charlie someone, because I don't have it with me. And I purchased it from my hotel room. It was delivered. I arrived from the airport. It was there at my doorstep. Freedom Inc. Okay? Unleash the power of your employee. It's beyond, I think I didn't start it, but I will start it this weekend after I put the Christmas tree and I changed my office here. So, on chaos. Yes, on chaos with corporate rebels. And I would like to work a little bit on this later. So that was a great takeaway. Off Give Thanks for Scrum and my journey to Give Thanks to Scrums. I got a lot of spark of renaissance. I spark a renaissance network. I put some people together that I hope, because again, and there's a video from Harold on his channel that I'm going to promote, and I think Elizabeth will do an audio caption of that. We were on the top of the rock in Manhattan, and we start rumbling and talking about this. And I do believe with my Freedom Sales Network, there's lessons to learn and to activate in our upcoming network for Renaissance that we're going to build. And that's a takeaway, that I'm starting to gather people together. I'm a gatherer, so it's part of me. And it's 4 stages, of a real renaissance, a real freedom of being and doing. Awareness, planning, envision it, activate it, doing it, and 4th, probably the most important, network. Because how could you opt out of a game that you don't want to play anymore if you're alone? Even if you did great on the 3 other stage, you're really aware of the situation. You have a plan. You have an exit plan. Good. You know how to make it happen. Activation. Good. But whoops, I need Dan, I need Susie, I need Michael. They need me for something. Network. I'm not talking about network, like just networking and talking with a glass of wine. No. Okay? So I spark the Renaissance Network right now. Who want to be part of something? To build something contextually and to be maybe ready. The real prepper are not putting can of beans in the cave. The real prepper are making relation and are sharing their strength and also where they're not good to see could we live together in a future state of darkness, neo-feudalism. I don't know. So the time is now, guys. The time is now. The last 3 years I've proved it. The time is now. For you to prepare the choice that you're going to do. So this is my Renaissance thing. Another great takeaway, my meeting with Daniel Mezick and Open Leadership Network or Open Leadership 2024. We have great things coming up. So 2024 will be for me a chasm, a turning point, away from the conventional Agile, away from one alliance to another alliance. And game-changing, why moment. I'm happy. I also hope to participate more with Scrum Inc. because I will need probably to... And my transformation from the, I will say that much, Scrum Alliance caterpillar after 10, 15 years to becoming the butterfly with Scrum Inc., with Scrum at Scale, what have you. We'll see. It's in the table. But my takeaway was having contact now and having possibility to bring Scrum Inc. up north. It'll be delightful to participate in that in a business sense and also in the agency sense. And for open leadership, I think it's going to become my new tribe, which some of you might be listening right now. Contact me in private to know more. And so much more. And I would like to finish on a funny thing. Something that I love it. It's so me. So I'm having dinner in Boston Central at the Guy Fieri joint. For the first time ever since the one I met. What was I? Was I at the Las Vegas one? I don't think so. Maybe it was a project we didn't go. But now I saw the Boston one. 2 minutes away my hotel. I said, thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it because in the last 5 years since Mike Beadle left, I don't have a family anymore. Enterprise Scrum is kind of Sue and I and Michael Orman. So... thank you so much, because I need to be part of a network. I need to be part of a family that is more than a group. So I really appreciate it. Yeah, Scrum Inc. with you and Open Leadership with Daniel Mezick. That will be my two new family, I hope. Because I was lost in the last 4 years after Mike passed away. So I'm authentic. I'm just saying it like it is, receiving it. And but anyway, so yeah, I went there alone, and after my meeting with the Vista Printing, whatever. Anyways, and now I said to myself when I received my burger, this big burger at Guy Fieri, that was the bacon mac and cheese burger. So I said, how do you eat it? And the guy he brought me like a couple of utensils, and I said whatever. So, but there were a couple of ladies next, because I was at the bar. When I'm alone, I prefer to go at the bar. And I said, hey, would you like to take a picture of me to make my family and friends laugh at me, my little mouth? And I start talking like this, like my little mouth putting this huge burger. Like, I should have bring the photo in front of it. But anyways, so that was just like these kind of impromptu moment you have. And she took the picture and we start talking and having fun. And her girlfriend told me that, hey, you look so cool. We have an extra ticket for a very special show. And you look open-minded. And I said, of course I'm open-minded. I'm for real openness. It's one of the Scrum value, right? And by the way, I don't hide it. I'm bisexual, or call me whatever you like. I don't care. But I don't want to be in this alphabet of letters. I'm just open that much. And they say, this lesbian couple, they said, we are going to this magnificent, by the way, if you go in Boston, you have to go see a play or something there. It's the Emerson Colonial Theater. just on Boylston, I think, or just next to the park. It's an amazing place. And so I went there, boom, like this, extra ticket on the balcony, and I have an amazing time of a Christmas, drag queen Christmas. That was just so funny. I don't care about the wokeness. I don't care about anything. And by the way, those drag queens were actually calling out the day movement. Do you know the day movement? So that was a bliss. So that's my last takeaway of my Boston tour, because I thought, like, this is me. You know, just talking, asking help to take a picture of me, of my foodist blog, and finally getting invited. And the rest of the night, I won't say that much here. I get prepared, but that was just an amazing Saturday in Boston Core, going to the Christmas, drag queen Christmas. And I don't watch TV, so I didn't know anything about it. But there were, most of these drag queen are participants of those RuPaul dragways. But anyways, when you go in Boston, like if you come in Montreal, we are sister cities. Yes, I know, Bruins against the Canadian, but you know, I don't watch hockey. I prefer rugby and football, European football. But nevertheless, I'm always a Bruins fan. For years, my cousin, who his birthday this weekend, he's a Bruins fan. I get him something. So yeah, we are trader in Montreal because I've got a lot of Irish in my family anyways. So they're against the Canadians for some cultural reason, but that's let's have fun. And I will conclude before my usual, unless I see in the backstage Sue or Harold. Are you there? No, you're not. And I don't have LinkedIn open, so I don't see the comment on LinkedIn yet. Maybe I could do this. Let's go around where I'm streaming right now. Sorry for the quick feedback you're gonna heard here. Are you there? Okay, so there's no chat, no comment into LinkedIn, unless... Oh, yes, it is. No, it's not. Okay, perfect. Rumble, it's usually... Let's see it. Once again...
One simple but brilliant trick to heat your home in 90 seconds.
Well, okay, so now... I didn't expect it, an ad. There's a lot of people watching, no chat. Okay, so apparently I didn't miss any chat. I'm really thankful that Dan Lefebvre was there, probably relaxing after a great Thanksgiving. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving with your beautiful family. Say hi to Sue. Suzanne. Hello, Suzanne. It was nice to meet you. Hope we'll see each other again if you pass by Montreal or Cancun, because I'm either way. I'm on the real Cancun, so you'll have a bliss with me. I know that city for 35 years. The real Cancun. No necesidad de hablar español. No worry, but you'll be more than welcome. So before I finish with my usual jingle to end the show and to thank you, the Renaissance movement that I partake, I would like to co-create and everything. There's something that in the more mental away to spiritual connection of being conscious. You know, consciousness helps you to free yourself from this polarization. And to be on the slide of any coin. And to move on, and to move forward, and to move onward. I do believe that it's important to remind ourselves of these great Latin words that I learned at 15 years old, watching the movie for the first time with Robin Williams, Dead Poets Society. Carpe diem. And this end November, by the way, with men's mental health and men's prostate health, I didn't do the Movember this year visually with a bow tie or a mustache. But I did it concretely. Helping friends. To stay in the momento and not going into the borrow. And we also pay tribute to one of our great friends and entrepreneur who killed himself in last June. after those dark time of the lockdowns. I call it a lockdown. It was no pandemic for me. It was a lockdown. So we had in our network an entrepreneur who, actually, in my case, 3 entrepreneurs who killed themselves post-COVID bullshit. Well, high potential people, by the way. Strong people. So be careful, guys. Carpe diem saved my life a couple of times. Myself. Be in the moment doesn't mean that you don't plan for the future. But why will we be anxious of the future, skipping the moment, and do the bad thing? Don't do that. Stay with us. Call for help. It's November. Welcome home. Not stay home. Go home. Inner yourself. Develop the action of enjoying existence. This moment we have on this beautiful planet. With the beautiful sun, the firmament, and especially one another interaction. So on that, remember who you really are. You are wonderful. You are powerful. And you are free to be whoever you wanted to be and to do whatever you wanted to do in respect of one another. Happy Thanksgiving again and happy weekend. See you next week in December already. And for the audio podcaster of the DARE REAL Agile Podcast, see you next month for the On Retro Onward 2024. Cheers.